2 weeks ago, I did a video saying black people are oppressed, and people tried to argue me down. Since then, we've had a 14-year-old black boy hunted down by an Asian store owner and walk free. We've had a brother named Karmelo Anthony who's on trial for unaliving a YT bully. And we've also had an antagonist running around the state of Tennessee trying to provoke black people, black men specifically, with a firearm on his hip, on camera, multiple times. And it took for him to pew another black man for him to go to jail. And the same old hypocrisy from this YT supremacist system. I want to talk about something that hits my spirit as a black man and why I'm done pretending that this is anything but oppression. Now let's talk about this 14-year-old and this Asian store owner. This kid was 14 years old. He looked like Trayvon Martin. He didn't steal anything. They profiled this young man from Jump Street. Owner and his son chased him a whole football field and a half. This is not a split-second decision. That's a hunt. They pew-pewed him in the back, and the system says, okay, that's legal, no jail time. Keep in mind, everybody in that store who was doing business runs out and leaves a random customer alone inside to chase this 14-year-old boy. That's not community. That's a lynch mob mindset with a cash register. You know something? People wonder why I don't eat at certain Chinese spots anymore. Because I've walked into some of these joints and I've felt that shady energy. You know, when you feel like you're just a dollar and not a human? This case confirmed what my nervous system already knew. That's what oppression looks like in 2026. You can be a black kid not stealing and still end up unalive, and the shooter walks free. Now let's talk about Karmelo Anthony's case. Yeah, we got Karmelo Anthony, not the former NBA star, a young brother on trial in Texas. The YT kid he unalived reportedly was over 6 foot tall, more than 220 pounds, and had a history of bullying. Karmelo says the dude was messing with him, and Karmelo believed it was him or me. That's self-defense language. But now the people are like, oh, he didn't really fear for his life. So they drag him into court, stack him with an all-YT jury, and put his fear on trial. Meanwhile, there were some black people who showed up just to support him outside of the courthouse, and they're getting racial slurs thrown at them from passing cars, honking, yelling, just being straight up childish. What is that? You know what that is in a nutshell. When Zimmerman follows and unalives Trayvon, they stretch every inch of the law to justify his fear. When an Asian store owner runs a kid down and pews him in the back, they call that self-defense. But a black man scared of a bigger bully with a record? Suddenly fear is not enough. So here's the weapon hypocrisy. Now let's explain the logic here. The opposition goes, well, why did Karmelo have a knife in his book bag? Like that automatically makes him a villain. These are the same people who will excuse someone like Kyle Rittenhouse hauling an AR across state lines. Well, he was just protecting property, exercising his rights. So a black kid with a knife is a thug, but a YT kid with a rifle is a hero. That makes sense. It's not logic. It's loyalty to YTness, to a system that wants our fear to be irrational and their violence to be reasonable. Now let's talk about what this does to a black man's mind. This isn't just headlines. It's mental warfare. You see kids who look like you and your cousins getting profiled, chased, and unalive. You see brothers your age on trial for defending themselves. You're expected to stay calm when someone's provoking you, calling you slurs, dogging you in public, because if you defend yourself, they'll dissect every micro move and say you just weren't scared enough. That's why I talk about protecting my nervous system. You know why I can't be up at 4 a.m. feeding my brain doom clips, doom scrolling? Why I set rules like no new world problems after midnight? Because this system will fry your circuitry if you let it. Now here's my personal response. I can't control every court case, but I can control where my dollars go. If a business acts shady towards me, if they don't respect my life, my presence, or my people, I'm not funding that. Boycott isn't just emotion. motivation. It's self-respect. I move differently. I'm stacking credit, cash, equity. So I'm not living in survival mode. I'm building my own business and content so my future isn't fully at the mercy of people who see me as a target. I let myself be angry. I name it. But I refuse to let that anger paralyze me. Turn it into content. I turn it into discipline, into higher standards with friends, with women, with clients, with myself. So you want to know if black people are oppressed? When I say black people and people comment, oh, not anymore, that was best, I just point to the last 30 days. 14-year-old profiled and killed while the shooter walks. A brother on trial fearing a bully, a known bully. Country that nitpicks knives, black book bags, and celebrates AR-15s in YT hands. And a dude who's trying to get black people to harm him on camera. That's oppression. So let's stop gaslighting ourselves. Once we admit the system is what it is, you can stop waiting for it to love you and start building the life, the businesses, the boundaries that keep you and your people alive. This is the rapping detailer. Protect your mind, protect your money, protect your life. The system has shown you what it is. Now move like you believe it. And remember that being prepared eliminates fear and being aware makes everything clear. And I'm out of here. Peace.